Oh, where'd my video go? Oh, it's just sending a signal. Okay. Did you get the message?
Yes.
All right.
You're still moving.
I'm JD, along with my good buddy Gail here, and welcome to Gale Force. So what's on our mind tonight? We got anything we want to talk about? I know what the main story is, but before we do that, let's talk just a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin. I mean, all of a sudden it went from 16 grand, and now where are we standing at now?
4,800 and I don't know.
What the hell is going on in the world?
Well, it came up. Now it's at 4,945. 49.
I didn't think it'd ever go under 5 grand. So what's the story? This has something to do with the Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin something and some kind of hard fork, and you think that's
things. Okay, the guy who did the Bitcoin Cash fork from Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He's kind of a crybaby. When he tried taking over from Bitcoin last year, there was a weekend flux back and forth between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. It was just a weekend free-for-all. And literally, I sat here and had a couple of adult beverages.
Nothing wrong with that.
Over a weekend, I sold Bitcoin, bought Bitcoin Cash, bought Bitcoin back, and made one whole Bitcoin just because of the back and forth stuff. The same guy, because of the fork of Bitcoin Cash, there's Bitcoin Cash ABC and Bitcoin Cash SV, which stands for Satoshi Vision. This
the original vision, supposedly, yeah.
According to him. Everybody has their own opinion about everything, you know. It's like, is that a blue jay or is it not a blue jay? Is it a cardinal? Is it not a cardinal? It's all personal visions.
Yeah.
You know, left, right, libertarian, in between. It's all personal perspective. This guy bought, he has thousands upon thousands of Bitcoins from years ago. And he's such a crybaby. He will spend thousands of Bitcoin to make his point of view the working one.
So what's his vision on this? Is this like to try to take over the original Bitcoin? Does this coin actually have some kind of vision, or is it just something he's doing out of spite?
A lot of it is spite, and part of it is misguided vision. See, when they started the original Bitcoin, it had like let's say a 1 megabyte block.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to go to a 4 megabyte block. Well, they went to a SegWit and 2 megabyte block. Well, that wasn't what he wanted. He wanted a 4 megabyte. It's a wah, 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 wah.
but all this.
And because he's a crypto billionaire with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Bitcoin, he bought like at like $2 or $3. It's my way or the highway. Well, the world is in, as we've discussed privately, because of the fiat money system and the what's it called when you take in the Federal Reserve thing where you take and put in 10,000 and they can loan out 100,000. Fractional reserve.
Fractional reserve banking, which has really screwed up the world, by the way.
By 2020, even the federal government says we're in deep doo-doo.
Wow, nice. Oh yeah, I just read an article about that. We'll talk about that on another show. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's some
see,
crap coming up.
what people don't understand is they want to separate everything.
Yeah.
But because of the internet, computers, jets, we're all interconnected in real time. And nothing is off in another world. From the time we went to the moon and watched on when you and I were very young,
Still are.
Yeah,
My birthday is not for another week here, and I'm still young.
Yeah, when we watched them walk on the moon on live television. And the thing is, what a lot of people like to take a conspiracy thing is they didn't realize how big it was. And most of the video we have is news cameras taking pictures of monitors.
Yeah.
And that's why it's just, and that's why it's so screwed up. Oh, let's stop this. That was done. No, no, no. They didn't think it would work. And because they didn't think it would work, they didn't really record stuff. They go, oh, shoot, these guys didn't die. And they turned the TV camera at the monitors and took pictures of the monitors. That's why it's so pixelated and moves so funny, like it's claymation.
Don't forget, I'm here to keep you on track. So let's get back to the Bitcoin. So,
but it's the same thing as we have been lied to, and the billionaires and the trillionaires that lie to us and send us to the plantation every day.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, that reminds me of a story which I posted on. Again, if people want more information on what we're doing here, we have a Facebook channel called Every Bit Matters. Just do a search for Every Bit Matters. You'll start seeing all our videos. We're going to start doing all kinds of shows and all kinds of different subjects. And that's where you'll find us there. But yeah, I read a story today about some big guy says that Bitcoin will never make it big until the institutions get involved. But the whole idea behind Bitcoin was to get away from institutions. So I think the guy had the article completely wrong. They don't seem to understand. That's what we don't want. We don't want these guys doing what they did with the money right now. Our money's worth nothing. So, that's the whole idea behind Bitcoin is to get away from the institutions. So that's a whole other show. But so right now,
they're all
connected. So Bitcoin's under $5,000. Do we expect it to go back up by the end of the year?
By the end of the year, some. Next year, it should explode because the big boys and the institutional people have spent billions and billions. They have created Bitcoin, cryptocurrency portfolios for retirement funds. Well, if you get all of the big boys that are talking trillions of dollars,
yeah,
they're not in there to lose.
Oh yeah. And the big money, I think right now is starting to jump into Bitcoin. And was it you that sent the article about Venezuela?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was Walmart, but it's not Walmart. It's a company that's a subsidiary of Walmart, so they can claim it and stuff like that. But it's
a big company in Venezuela is starting to take Bitcoin. So here we have all these third world countries taking all these digital coins, and here we are. We're based here in Orlando, in the United States, in Florida, the sunny state of Florida, where it almost hit 50 degrees. Almost had to break out, a jacket.
Absolutely.
But all these third world countries are using all these digital currencies, and what are we doing around here? We're worried about celebrities thinking on who we should vote for. We're so far behind. Yeah. What a screwed up world. Sorry, I got to let my little one out. He's got to be part of the show. Come on, Cygnus, come on up. There's my buddy. Say hi to Gail. You remember Gail?
Hey, Cygnus. Hey, buddy.
I'm thinking about doing a show with him. I think me and him could do a good show.
There you
So
go.
I had to quiet him down.
It's all a con game.
Yeah.
And you and I have become awake because we go like 2 and 2 does not make 5, it makes 4.
Well, unless you use that new math they got.
Yeah, and you can't even put it on the wall and make it make 5.
Okay, let's get to the big story tonight since we don't have all the time in the world. First of all, my empathy goes out to all the poor folks in California. They had that big fire, a couple big fires going on out there, destroying thousands and thousands of homes, displacing thousands and thousands of people. I feel really bad for everybody out there, but there is a big story that seemed to have missed the news media. Nobody's really talking about, and there's actually a ticking bomb waiting to go off right there in the middle of one of the fires right next to the beach near, where is it, Malibu? Or I'm not sure.
It's in a Simi Valley area.
But there's some big happenings that might be going on. I'll give you a quick breakdown. There was an old decommissioned nuclear power plant, and I believe you told me it was built in like the late 50s. So it was one of our early.
It was decommissioned in the late 50s.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it was one of our first nuclear power plants. Is actually producing power. And what a lot of people don't know, and I still haven't read up on it. I should have today, but busy day, didn't get around to reading the whole article again. But they decommissioned it. It's a nuclear power plant, but it was actually our biggest nuclear accident. It was even 100 times, maybe even more than that, 100 times bigger than the meltdown at 3 Mile Island.
Correct.
And now it looks like there might be some problems there. So can you give us a little update on this little gem that you have found for us?
Okay. It was an alt media type of thing, and they went to the state of California.
Yeah.
And they, got that, well, that's a security issue, and all the generic BS things. In the late 50s, it was the premise and the thing for the movie that Robert Redford and everybody was in called the China Syndrome.
I think it was Michael Douglas and Jane Fonda.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but that doesn't have anything to do with the story. But it was a big incident. Everybody's seen that movie, The China Syndrome, where a nuclear power plant's about to destroy the world. But that actually almost occurred here in California.
Absolutely.
Right next to the ocean.
Yeah, actually what it is it's close to the ocean, and what they did to shuffle around, Republicans, Democrats, both, it's no political party. We're being political atheists here.
Yeah.
It's bankers and people that want to fill their pocket and empty your pocket. They took and shifted it they made it into sold it to a private entity. The private entity took and they were able to stop the total nuclear meltdown. They took the spent fuel rods and everything else and put them in unsafe containers, buried them in the ground without monitors. The bad thing is it's right on a fault line.
Earthquake fault line?
An earthquake fault line. And let's say, I don't know, it's 10 acres, 20 acres, 30 acres, whatever. The perimeter fence for the facility is 180 foot from the ocean.
Wow,
so
that's
pretty darn close. Yeah. If you even have a mild tsunami, it's like a 6-foot tsunami, which is like, duh,
Yeah, a very big surfing wave.
You got big surfing wave that washes through the beach, over the highway, into the place. You have salt water, which would corrode all of these not what's called the nuclear commission people.
Yeah.
Okay. The International Nuclear Commission, yada yada yada, and they create names to throw you off.
Yeah.
The corrosiveness of the salt water would corrode through these regular steel, not even stainless steel containment things, because they're waiting for federal people to create a place to take these spent fuel rods of, like out in some salt mine in Utah or some junk. Here they are within a couple hundred feet of salt water with not even any underground testing to see if they're leaking. Like here in Florida, if you have a gas station,
Yeah.
and you put fuel tanks in the ground, so many feet under the fuel tanks, there has to be computer operated sensoring devices to make sure there's no fuel leaks.
Hey,
There are no fuel leak sensors for these nuclear fuel rods.
I need to interrupt you just for a second. I'm still on the air, but I got to run to the other room just for a second. But keep going. Real quick, just to get everybody up to speed, this was a nuclear power plant that they shut down, and now they're using it to store spent fuel. But give us a little information, because they're not even storing it in containers that are supposed to be used to store waste. I'll be right back. I'm still in the air, so just don't look at me for a second. I'll be right back, but I can hear you. Keep going. So what's happening? These cans aren't even made to hold the nuclear waste.
They are basically, they're like taking a steel pipe and welding up both ends of it and putting nuclear fuel rods in it, burying it in the ground. They have no monitoring system. There is no, it's like not a double wall, triple wall with monitoring. In the state of Florida, if you were to have a gas station, you have a triple wall situation with monitoring devices. And that's just for gasoline. Gasoline would affect your drinking water. Nuclear waste will give you cancer that'll kill you. And they don't even have the monitoring of a gas station at a nuclear storage facility waiting on the federal government to move these nuclear spent fuel rods to a really safe facility. Now let's see. We have a fire.
Yeah.
And a gas fire runs through that area. Oh, guess what? That's going to get in the air. So you think a doggy mask is going to stop? It may stop out some of the doggone burning a doggone eucalyptus bush.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop the doggone nuclear stuff that's in the air.
Let me read real quick from the article here. It says, so far, 29 of 73 canisters of waste are below the surface of the ground. And they warn that the canisters are unequipped to store the toxic nuclear waste. The warranty for the containment system is only for 10 years, and the canisters themselves are only guaranteed to last 25 years. But this thing's been going on for decades.
1959. Add up the numbers.
So that sounds a little scary. They're storing nuclear waste in they're not even barrels. They're just like pipes with ends welded onto them. They're not made to contain nuclear waste. we are having nuclear waste on top of a fault line within a couple hundred yards of the ocean, right in the middle of one of the biggest fires in California, and nobody is talking about it. Now, you think the problem they have in Japan, what's that nuclear power plant in Japan? Yeah, you think that's a big problem, which they're not telling us the whole story on that one. Man, wait till something happens here. If that fire gets there, how are they going to fight that?
Drink lots of the wine from California. It'll glow in the dark.
And suck down a lot of iodine with it, huh?
Absolutely, uh,
It's kind of scary that, I've only read one story, and that's the one you sent me. And you think that I've been trying to watch some of the news. I've yet to see a story about this. This is a really, really could be a really, really bad situation in one of the most populous states in America. And it's not even making the news. They're worried about all the celebrities' houses are burning, and people are displaced, and I feel really bad. I can't imagine living there. I can't imagine you get 5 or 10 minutes notice that a fire's coming to destroy your house. What do you grab? You really can't grab nothing. But even though I feel bad for the people that are going through this, nobody knows about nuclear site sitting right there in the middle of it. And it sounds like a pretty dangerous situation that could get out of hand. And how do you fight it?
peekaboo, peekaboo.
Yeah, it's like, if I don't see it, then it's not there. I don't have to worry about it. This,
And
that's
a left or right issue. This are we going to live or die issue.
yeah. Imagine something happening there. If something big happened, let's just say all of a sudden at one time the fire flares up, we have a small earthquake, which causes a tsunami to happen right in this area, and then we have nuclear waste stored in, steel pipes made to last more than a decade, and this thing's been going on for 4 or 5 decades. This should be like front news page news everywhere, you would think. So I don't want to say there's a conspiracy out there, about that. We haven't heard nothing about it.
Yeah, well, it's like you are nothing till you've been on a Simpson episode. This could literally be Blinky the Three-Eyed Fish.
It's I'm kind of chuckling. It's not a funny chuckle. It's a stupid chuckle. It's like, I can't believe this is happening and nobody's heard about it. There's no news stories about it. I don't know how you found the story, but it's the more I read about it, this is really scary. A nuclear waste facility in a heavily populated area surrounded by fire on top of a fault line right next to the ocean. This is dangerous stuff we're looking at.
And everyone on YouTube that's run out with Geiger counters, their YouTube accounts have been shut down.
No way.
Yes.
That's again,
here.
Nothing against Google and YouTube and all this stuff, but that's another reason why you'll find this show on BitTube, which is going to overtake YouTube pretty soon. If anybody doesn't know what BitTube is, you need to check into it. We're going to have our own channel there called Gale Force, and it's going to be uncensored. It's going to be a great new site. It's going to, you don't have to worry about the leftists coming or the people on the right shutting you down. And you'll get some great stories. I'm sure you'll get a bunch of fake stories. We get that all the time. But BitTube, not only will you get uncensored content, they can't shut you down. It's decentralized. It's not like there's one computer with the government or Google or some kid out of college says he doesn't like what you're saying can turn you off. On BitTube, you'll be on there, be uncensored, and you'll be finding some great stories. And we hope to be one of the top channels there pretty soon. So you're going to find us on BitTube under Gale Force. We'll still do YouTube as much as we can, and until they probably will end up shutting us down because of some of the stories that we'll be bringing you. And in case you're just tuning in, you're listening to Gale Force. I'm JD. This is my counterpart, Gale, who right now is just a blank wall, but believe me, he's there. And we're doing a new show called Gale Force. We're going to be talking mostly about the new digital currencies, the old digital currencies, the new money that it's going to become, because people are getting a little worried about the U.S. dollar. As a matter of fact, maybe our next show will be on how many countries are now starting to get away from U.S. treasuries. They're starting to dump our treasuries. Nobody is trusting the U.S. dollar anymore. So Bitcoin and all these other coins, the ones that survive, that's where you're going to need to have some of your money so you can at least still survive when all of a sudden we have our next crisis, which is just around the corner. I just read a story where in Australia, their housing is starting to go down. Lowe's is closing 51 stores. And I just read before we get on the air here that a lot of people are worried that the recession is coming right around the corner. The housing market and the construction has started to slow down big time. So this does not look good right around Christmas time. So this could be our new Christmas present. So I kind of fear for the new year, but it could be big for the Bitcoins out there and the other alternate coins. And is it Ripple just took over on top of Ether?
Yeah, actually, on the coin market cap, Ripple is number 2 now. Ethereum is not number 2. A lot of this has to do with bank manipulation. And as we realize, most of this stuff is about bank manipulation.
Yeah, the big guys, yeah.
And what people need to do, and they need to sit down and look at things. And look at it with a pencil, a piece of paper, not use emotions and feelings. If fiat money and the banks collapse, what's going to happen? Everything's
thought 2008 was bad. Yeah.
The banks are going to go down. Gold, actually, and much of a crypto, silver, and gold nut as I am, they're also going to go down. Because everyone with huge money, I'm talking about billionaires, not even millionaires.
Yeah.
In today's world, it takes nothing to be a millionaire.
Yep.
The billionaires, they're going nutso and crazy. They're buying silver. They're buying gold. They're buying crypto. They're buying land. They're buying Lambos. They're buying art. As things go down, please, people, take heart. Hard assets are what's going to survive. They may run silver down to $10 and gold down to $1,100.
Yeah.
But if it's in your hand, there's the old story of the German guy that was a doorman at a hotel in the big times of the flappers, the 20 flappers, where the whole world was making buckets of money.
Yeah, the golden 20s or the roaring 20s.
The roaring 20s. He was given a large gold coin. At the bottom, the very bottom of the Weimar Republic, they had wheelbarrows of money to buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
He took that one gold coin and bought the hotel that he worked at.
Can you imagine that? See,
So gold, silver, and crypto, they may go way down.
yeah,
But there's one thing about it. Gold, silver, and crypto will not burn. Fiat money is paper and it will burn.
yeah, and you might need that for heating. I know a lot of people are putting money into, like you said, the hard assets like silver and gold. But the one thing you got to remember, and art and real estate, it's hard to go out there and buy a loaf of bread or a dozen eggs or breakfast with gold or silver or art. You're going to need some way to pay for it when our money becomes worthless, and digital coins are going to be the way to go. So I would put a little bit of money into digital coins just to be safe.
And also, don't keep a lot of your money in the bank. If you have folding paper money, when it first go down, if you had, okay, in Florida, Dwayne and I have been here longer than we want to admit. Because we're only 25. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm turning 26 this week.
What do you do in a hurricane? You have food, water, and you have cash, folding paper money. Because when the electricity goes off, the credit cards don't work. You can still go to the bank. You can still go to the Winn-Dixie. You can still go to the gas station. And if you have paper money, until people quit taking paper money, you can still buy groceries and water and gasoline.
Yeah. So it's good to have something like that.
You need some paper money. Then you do silver, gold, and cryptos. And make sure you have canned goods and dry goods.
Yeah.
All you got to do, if you don't believe Dwayne and me and think we're a couple of old adult beverage gray hairs, go and look at Venezuela.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel sorry for those bad people too. Hey, we're getting close to
Argentina. It's all the same thing.
We're getting close to the end of the show here. We don't want to do real big shows to begin with until we become experts. I think the next show I would like to talk about something I just read about, and that is one of the first transfers of Bitcoin without the use of cell towers and computers. It's an interesting article. They used a mesh network, and they actually made some transactions. So if cell phones go down and you happen to have a solar generator and you still got your phone, you can still make transactions.
It's a new kind of wallet.
They can't shut you down. You know, the government can't shut you down like they can the bank. Right now, the IRS can come in there and shut your account down like that, and you're out of money. What are you going to do? You can't go to an ATM.
Yeah. Your debit card and your American Express denied. Well, guess what? The government can't shut us down.
Yeah, and if they can do it without the use of cell towers or without the this was without the internet too. It didn't require the internet. They sent bitcoins just using two phones and a mesh network, and they managed to make a transaction. So Bitcoin's coming around, and there's going to be some big news coming up. Gail and I will be telling you about all this in our upcoming new shows. As soon as we figure out a schedule and I figure out how to get everything set up, we'll let everybody know. Again, you can reach us on Every Bit Matters on Facebook. So just go to Facebook, just do a search for Every Bit Matters, and we'll be getting some more information. And then again, we're going to be setting up a BitTube account. So even if YouTube decides to shut us down, we can go to BitTube, do what we want. And the good thing I like about BitTube is you can make money doing it. You don't have to worry and worry about YouTube, because with YouTube you got to have like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of views before they let you start making money. Well, with BitTube, you can make money on your very first show with one. I don't even think you need a subscriber. With one viewer watching you, you can start making money. So That's where you're going to find us. You're going to find us on BitTube. You're going to find us on YouTube. You're going to find us on Facebook. And wherever else we can put our ugly mugs, we'll be putting it there. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in California. And we'll try to get some more news on this nuclear power plant. And I still can't believe that it hasn't made the news. It's just unremarkable that our government would allow nuclear waste to be stored this way. It's just really scary. When I read that article, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And it's in the middle of this fire. And like you said, it's on a fault line. Scary stuff, isn't it?
And before we end, what a lot of people don't realize is it's not just that. My brother-in-law lives in Cologne, Germany.
Well, I was going to say, I thought he was into smelling good.
Yeah, well, it's smelling good. Cologne, he lives in Cologne, Germany. If you look, gas is going down in the United States. The price of oil is going down in the United States.
Yep.
In Europe right now, to support their socialist thing, when oil is going down, they're raising the price of fuel.
Jeez, nuts. Well, why through taxes? They're putting higher taxes on it?
280,000 people in France alone. 300 people arrested. No, 300 people, 229 people injured, one person dead, and over 300 people arrested in the protests. How they support socialism in Europe is through fuel taxes. Oil is going down. In the last month, the cost of fuel has gone up 20%.
That's hard to believe.
We buy gas by the gallon.
Yeah.
In Europe, you've been there, Dwayne. What do they buy? By the liter.
By the liters, yeah.
And 3.8 liters is a gallon. If you go up 20%, their gas was already $7 a gallon. Add 20% because they've got all these immigrants. This is for another show.
I got it on my list.
He has blessed every one of you, and God bless the USA.
And we had a great show. Again, you'll find us on BitTube here shortly because I'm going to upload this and see how that works. You can find us on Facebook, again, under Every Bit Matters, because right now, every bit matters. And I have a new browser, a crypto browser. It's based on Google Chrome. And when I'm not using my computer and it's just sitting there, I'm mining coins, even though I'm only getting a few pennies. Here in the future, those few pennies could be worth a little bit of money. So I'll put that link up there too. If anybody wants to earn money while they surf, they can do it.
And if the system crashes, it can be more than a few pennies.
Yeah, and now that they can transfer Bitcoin without the use of cell towers and the internet, that's interesting. There's a lot of good stories out there. We'll try to cover as much as we can. We're also going to be doing some up to the minute. If something happens and I see a story, I'll call you up on my Skype mobile. We'll do a quick live broadcast. And, we're going to try to keep everybody update on what's happening in the currency world. We're also going to be doing shows on, current events because there's a lot of news happening right now. And the stock market, I think, took another hit today.
Oh, right at 400 points.
Holy moly. So, Lowe's closing 51 stores. The housing market starting to die off a little bit. It's not looking pretty for the new year already. So, everybody was thinking 2018 should have been the year of the digital currency, but it looks like they put it off a year. Looks like 2019 could be a great year to start getting in, especially with the prices at what they are now. If you got a couple extra, even $100, buy you $100 worth of Bitcoin. Get in on it.
Bitcoin does a halving in 2019, and Bitcoin does the halving in 2020.
You know, and I'm amazed on how far backwards America is on digital currencies.
Oh
Here's
my!
all these the third world countries using it to survive, and most people over here. I asked again one of my friends if he knew what Bitcoin was. He said he's heard of it, but he has no idea what it is. And we're just so backwards here in America. And wait till the big money comes in there. By then, it's too late. Now is the time to start getting in, even if it's a little bit. Get into it.
It will go from 4,500 to 20,000
Yeah.
in a week.
Yeah. It could take off pretty quick. Well, I think we did a pretty good show. I still think we look like movie stars. I don't know what movie stars we look like, but hopefully we'll
You're
be.
Brad Pitt, and I don't know who I am, but you know.
Are my lips still moving? Am I still doing okay here? I don't want to find out. We did another show and
Last time you're doing great.
fantastic. We might have this figured out, and then I'll get that second monitor up, and we'll do some shows where we can actually pull up the articles so people can see that we're not making this stuff up. You know, I read probably 10, 15 different news sites just so I try to kind of figure out what's true and what's not true because there's so much crap out there. But we'll keep you updated on stuff that's happening in digital currency. We'll keep you updated on new technologies. We'll keep you updated on current events. And we're just going to have fun. That's what this whole show is about. You're listening to the Gale Force. I'm JD. This is Gale. And until we meet again, God bless you. God bless the world. And God bless the United States of America. And God bless for bringing a whole new way to create wealth.
Absolutely.
So we'll end it on a good note. That get you some Bitcoin, even if it's free, a little at a time. It's going to add up in the big run. So put a little effort in it, you Americans out there. Learn a little bit about Bitcoin and these alternate coins. Take $100. Don't go out and have dinner one weekend. Take that $100, buy you a little bit of Bitcoin, and join a new revolution. And let's get back at these politicians and these bankers who have been stealing us dry for the last 100 years.
And this is not financial advice. This is just our opinion. That's
true. We're not financial advisors. We don't take our word for nothing. Do your own homework. We're just here.
We're doing.
We're just giving you our opinion, and that's one good thing about the United States. We have the freedom of speech. Now, you don't have to listen to us, but you ought to.
There you go. Amen to that.
Even if you get a good laugh, we'll try to throw a good laugh in there every once in a while. It's been a great show. Thanks again for hanging out with me, Gail. And we're going to do some fun stuff here in the next couple of weeks. Things ought to get exciting. I had a blast. We actually had all the equipment working. And I'll try to get my studio a little better set up. And, we'll start putting on, they're all real shows, but we'll start putting on better shows and have some fun.
Look more professional.
Again, you've been listening to Gale Force. I'm JD. This is Gail. Everybody have a great evening, and we'll talk to everybody on the next show. So again, check us out on Facebook, Every Bit Matters. Check us out on YouTube. It's going to be Gale Force, or it's Gale Force Creations. That's what it was. I had to do Gale Force Creations. So on YouTube, you'll see us under Gale Force. On BitTube, you'll see us under Gale Force. And on Facebook, you see us as Every Bit Matters. And until next time, we'll see you then. Everybody have a good evening. Don't go anywhere, Gail, because I want to talk to you right after the show. But I'm going to stop the broadcast. Everybody have a great evening. And make sure you have one big laugh every day. You got to have a big laugh every day. Don't take things very seriously. Unless you're married, then you got to take your wife seriously. But other than that, have a good time. It's been fun. I'm going to do some playing and we get done recording. And I'll talk to you in just a second. So I'm ending the broadcast. It's been fun. And we'll see you on the next round. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Let's see if this actually stops.